Now let's talk about our next topic, which is app resources overview. I have put down certain points which I have found on the Android docs, which are very important. So let's discuss these points. You should always externalize app resources such as images and strings from your code so that you can maintain them independently. So what this really means is that you should make sure that your images, strings, or any other app resource that you're going to use in your app should be kept separate from your rest of the code. So there could be a chance wherein you can try hard coding stuff in your code. For those of you who do not know what hard coding is basically writing a code which works only for that particular case. If I want to display a string as a result, as an output, then I'm going to use that string in my code as it is. I'm not going to think of other cases wherein that string might change, which needs to be given out as an output, right? So it's always a good practice, most recommended practice, that you should externalize app resources so that you can change these resources as and when required, and that should not take much time. If you remember, we have already discussed, I gave you an example of strings resource earlier. We'll see it again. You should also provide alternative resources for each specific device configurations. As you will be developing for Android, you will know that there are a lot of there are a lot of configurations which might be different from each other, right? So you might be working for an Android app which is going to be get operated on 5 different configurations with different screen sizes and a lot of differences in these configurations. In such cases, it's always good if you have different resources aligned to each one of them, right? At runtime, Android uses the appropriate resource based on the current configuration, right? So this is also important. Android does its job, it does its bit. It uses different resources that you have allocated for different configurations, but before that you have to do your own bit, and that is to provide those configuration resources to Android, right? Let me take you to the Android docs, and then let's discuss it further. As you can see, here is the hierarchy of files which has been shown here. This is how you should align your files. Now, why they have done this is because they're assuming that you might be working on different IDEs, that is integrated development environments, other than Android Studio, right? But in our case we are not, so we don't really need to worry too much about it. As you can see, here is my project SRC, and then we have the resource folder. This is a resource folder, and then drawable layout, mip map and values. Drawable layout, mip map and values. So it already is aligned the way it should be aligned as per Android requirements, so we need not worry about it. Now we will discuss a little bit about what all these folders are all about. Drawable is for storing images, and you can also store XMLs here which point out to, which contain other images that you might be requiring in your app. As you can see, here is an XML which has a background with it. So the background that you want to show is depicted by this XML, and then we have a layout. Layout folder, you already know, is basically consisting of all the layouts that you require in your app. Mip map has the icons that you will be requiring. These are icons with different resolutions. Now this is what we meant when we said that we should have the different resources for different configurations, right? So if you're working on an Android app which is of higher resolution or different resolutions, you're working on an Android app which has to be run on different resolutions phones, then you have all these options available here, right? They have also put an XML here, and we will discuss it briefly later in this video or in the next video. Why can we use XML, or why we should use XML here, right? And then we have another folder here, IC Launcher Round. This is a round icon which shows up as an app icon in your system tray in your phone. And then we have values as well. Values is consisting of 3 XMLs. Color, there are 3 colors here. The color palette has these 3 colors, and these are the hex codes of the respective colors. We have color tag here, and then you can also of course name these colors as per your requirement, and then you call these colors through these names, respective names in your code, right? Strings, and then you remember we changed the stuff here, right, because we wanted to type send now. So this is what strings is. And styles is different styles are available, sort of a theme that you want to change for your app, you can change it here, right? Now we have already discussed this once, and this is what hard coding is all about. If I decide not to go through this route and I decided I want to type a string straight away in my XML, then that would be hard coding, right? So as you can see, for text we have used @string/send, and that string is available here, send. Tomorrow if I were to be in a situation where I need to change this text for 20 buttons, then I will take at least 20 minutes to make these changes happen. But there's another way out. You can just change the, you can use this send now here, and you can change the send now here, and it will get reflected in all the 20 locations wherever the string has been used. So that's the benefit of using the values folder and not hard coding your app. Let's continue the discussion regarding the resource types that are available to us in our next video. See you.